Welcome to ESPN Saturday Primetime. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Not only welcome to Saturday Primetime, welcome to the jungle, the home of the #1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers, as they welcome in another conference powerhouse, the Florida Gators, who get back Walter Clayton Jr. today after he missed Florida's last game with a sprained ankle. Johni Broome, one of the two leading candidates for National Player of the Year. He is raring to go, and so is Bruce Pearl.
We haven't had a ton of adversity, all right? We've continued to find wins, and we continue to find ways to win, okay? Don't wait for the man next to you. Don't wait for the guy next to you. And you can make a play on rebound, make a play on defense, make a play on offense, okay? This will be the best one of the year we've had all year long.
The Tigers have only lost once all season. That was out of conference a couple of months ago at Duke. They are unbeaten in conference play, and there are the Gators in a three-way tie for third. It's 6-3. Look at all the highly ranked teams in this extraordinary conference this year. Dan Schulman and the extraordinary Jay Billis with you here in Auburn. This is going to be fun. Two great teams, an unbelievable atmosphere. They like to get up and down. What are your keys?
Well, Auburn is the #1 team in the country, but they're the clear #1 when they're playing here at home. Their numbers are far greater at home than they are on the road. So Florida's facing a team where they're going to have to do a really good job taking care of the ball. They want to get out in transition, but when they can't, they're going to have to use most of the clock and make Auburn guard them. This is an excellent rebounding team, and I think that Alex Condon, Thomas Houck, Ruben Chinyelu, they have to really get to the glass and find second chance opportunities against these Auburn Tigers.
For more on a game we are really looking forward to, here's Jess Sims.
Thank you, Dan. Now, Florida's Elijah Martin is out today after suffering a hip pointer injury earlier this week on Tuesday against Vanderbilt. A hip pointer injury is a deep-rooted bruise on the outer upper corner of the hip called the iliac crest, and it extends all the way into the abdomen. Now, the team said he hasn't been able to do much at all this week. He had a shoot-around earlier this morning where he was wearing a heat wrap. They even tried to give him stim right before the game, but he is not going to be playing tonight.
And that is a major loss for the Gators. He did come back after the injury Tuesday against Vanderbilt, but unable to go today. And that means Denzel Aberdeen, very talented player, Jay, is going to make his second career start. Made the last start because Clayton was out. Starts today because Martin is out. They're going to rely on him a lot today.
Well, Aberdeen is a downhill driver and a versatile point guard. He's athletic. He can be explosive. And he's played some really important minutes off the bench this year for Florida.
9,121. It sounds like twice as many as that here in the jungle. Underway, and it's Auburn ball to get this one started.
First thing you have to look with Auburn, they'll run something to try to get a lob.
It'll be Alex Condon initially on Johni Broome. Denver Jones at the point for the Tigers. Now Chad Baker-Mazara. Shot clock inside 10. Broome from 15, around and out. And the rebound down to Will Richard as we show you the Florida lineup. They had used the same starting lineup every single game until their last game. But again, Aberdeen is in. Clayton just a terrific player. And Will Richard coming off a great performance against Vandy on Tuesday. Aberdeen backdoor rejected by Kelly.
Boy, great help by Kelly on that backdoor.
Clayton's three won't go, and it's Auburn ball. The starting five for the Tigers, the usual group: Jones, Kelly, Baker-Mazara on the perimeter, Johni Broome, and Dylan Cardwell, who had 6 blocks Tuesday against Oklahoma, as Richard is called for the foul. What can you say about the job that Bruce Pearl has done on the court, how he has energized the fans? He has turned this into one of the elite programs and one of the most followed and adored programs by their local fans in the nation.
10 years ago, where Auburn is now would have been unimaginable. I liken it to UConn when Jim Calhoun took over.
Kelly short on the three. Broome the offensive rebound.
Those are the kind of rebounds that Florida needs to come up with in this game.
Broome going to work on Condon. trying to get back to that left hand and somehow gets it to go.
Well, Condon did a great job forcing him over his left shoulder, but Broom is so persistent. He's going to get to that left hand no matter what.
Ruben Chinyalu into Aberdeen and another block. This time by Broom. And the ball was out of bounds. Already Auburn has blocked 2 shots in this game.
And both of them off terrific backdoor cuts, which is usually an easy basket. But Johni Broom, very alert to the ball, able to block that shot.
5th-year player, 2 at Morehead State, 3 here on the Plains. That was his 399th career block. He just had his shot knocked away. Gators running. Richard 21-7 against Vandy Tuesday, and he's got Florida on the board.
Such an outstanding shooter, mostly catch and shoot where he's most dangerous, but he can really drive a closeout, got a terrific floater. He's having a great year.
There are no 2 programs in America, in my opinion, which embody more the up-transferring. Guys coming from low or mid-majors, from all over the place and turning into star players. And Chad Baker-Mazara is among them.
Well, right on cue to your point, Chad Baker-Mazara, the lefty, takes a very difficult contested shot and just gets clipped by Will Richard on the arm as he tries to fly by and able to knock that shot down. Chance for a 4-point play.
And we've got that as the 2nd foul already on Will Richard. And remember, they are without Elijah Martin. Aberdeen is starting. And Todd Golden has a difficult decision right out of the chute. And for the moment, Richard stays in the game.
Well, Richard leads Florida in steals, one of the top steals men in the Southeastern Conference. Most of his steals come off the ball. We'll see if this foul trouble takes away a little bit of aggressiveness from him.
They need a big, big day from Walter Clayton Jr. Again, the backdoor cut by Aberdeen, but good help by Auburn. Aberdeen for 3. Offensive rebound, Condon out of bounds, still Florida ball. For Todd Golden, 3rd-year head coach for the Gators, and you go back 10 years, and he was the director of basketball ops and then an assistant coach for Bruce Pearl here at Auburn, and Bruce thinks of him like he's another son. Stephen Pearl, Bruce's son, associate head coach, coach in waiting at Auburn, but Golden and Pearl feel like family with one another.
Dylan Cardwell has done an outstanding job on the defensive end. He switched off on Walter Clayton Jr.
How you talk about a logo 3 and the shot clock was running down. Clayton knew it and buried it.
Well, you keep your hand down on that because you don't expect anyone to pull from that deep, and he shot that effortlessly.
He is one of the 10 mid-season candidates for the Cousy Award as the best point guard in college basketball. Broom again one-on-one with Condon. Kelly the drive. It'll go.
Just a terrific drive of the closeout by Miles Kelly. You expect him to shoot that shot. You're closing out in a hurry. He uses your momentum against you.
Chinyalu, the Washington State transfer, backing down Kelly, but he missed it.
Broom came from behind to really bother that shot. There has been nothing clean for Florida offensively.
Only regular season meeting between these two. Kelly just inside the arc, knocks down another one.
Auburn's spacing has been outstanding. They are really spreading out this Florida defense.
Condon thinking about a 3. Now the ball screen for Aberdeen. Stepped into it, but left it way short on a clean look. Baker-Mazara, a little fade away, and it's Auburn by 7.
Auburn is just beating Florida down the floor. The Gators have to run better offense so they have defensive balance. They can get set.
And they are one of the best offensive teams in the nation, but they sure haven't looked like it in the early going today.
Well, they're hearing footsteps right now. Chinyalu should have dunked that thing, but So many shots have been blocked, he was thinking about it.
The tip out by Cardwell. It'll be Auburn ball.
Really smart by Dylan Cardwell. If you can't grab it, tip it back out.
Kelly trying to drive baseline and got tripped up by Aberdeen. And a timeout on the floor in a game where Auburn is having its way with Florida in the early going. Player of the Year candidate Janai Broom going 94 feet in Pearlville with Jay Billis when we come back.
"94 feet with Auburn's Janai Broom." The name Janai, where'd that come from?
My dad's name is John, so my mom and dad thought to add an I on the end, make it Janai, so that's how it came up.
I heard you have a dog.
Yes, I do.
What kind of dog?
It's a pit mix. I got it from the Humane Society.
I hear you've gotten into cooking lately.
Yep.
What do you cook?
I cook with some lamb chops, I can cook chicken, pork chops, you know what I'm saying, steak bites.
If you ever got in any trouble, what teammate would you call to help you out?
Probably Miles.
Miles Kelly?
Yeah.
Why?
Lord dang, they said it.
All right. Let me play.
All right.
You guys ready?
Shot.
Let's play again.
That looked legitimate. One shot, huh?
I love tequila beer pong.
The students started lining up immediately following the conclusion of the game Tuesday night against Oklahoma for this big game. Another top 10 matchup here on the Plains inside Neville Arena. Tahad Pettiford has checked in. Chaney Johnson as well for the Tigers. And Janai Broom already has 3 assists and 2 blocks in this game. Johnson, who would be starting for so many other programs in America, terrific off the bench, and Auburn leads by 9.
Boy, Auburn has been so sharp on the offensive end. Good screening, the ball is moving, and they've made some contested shots. It's not like every shot's been an open one.
And Will Richard, with 2 fouls, has now indeed gone to the bench for Florida. Sophomore Urban Klobjar from Slovenia's in. Chris Moore, the steal and the foul at the other end. Moore, a 5th-year player, very physical, their best communicator, and Bruce Pearl knew this morning he was going to call on Moore early because of the talent of these Florida guards.
Yeah, and he needed some extra physicality in this game. And to your point, Chris Moore is an excellent defender at 6 points and 3 rebounds in just 16 minutes against Oklahoma in that big win. But he's always a guy that does whatever it takes, a culture guy. And an excellent defender. And your point about his communication, he really talks out there. And I think that lifts up the defense as well. The best defenses you play against are the loudest.
Kelly sits, Jones returns, Moore at the line. He and Dylan Cardwell, each with 5 years in the program. This is such an experienced team. Not all of it here, obviously. But, boy, they've got so many older players who have played so much college basketball.
Little horn set, and the catches are extended right now. You want the big guys to really get out and pressure.
Good cut by Thomas Howe. Good find by Alex Condon. And a much-needed bucket for the Gators.
It was a great cut by Thomas Houck. It was a step and go. And Chaney Johnson didn't keep his body in between Houck and the basket.
So is it fair to say that part of Florida's game plan, we've seen a bunch of backdoor cuts already trying to take advantage of the aggressive Auburn D?
You want to take advantage of any overplay situation. That's why Auburn needs to get great pressure on the ball. Maybe take away some vision.
Aberdeen had no idea Chaney Johnson was running him down from behind. Now Houck, and one thing Florida really wants to do is get out in transition and score early. Aberdeen, a clean look, rebound Condon. Aberdeen again, and he got it.
Condon is such an outstanding offensive rebounder. He gets 3 per game. That is 4th in the Southeastern Conference, and he's the leading rebounder overall for this Florida team.
And the Gators, as a team, top 5 in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage.
There's that flex look.
Pettiford, one of the most talented freshmen in the nation. And he's had big numbers in their biggest games, and look at that, a 30-footer.
Just rejected that ball screen and went on his own.
Aberdeen initiates the contact and bangs it home, and he has really stepped it up the last couple of minutes.
Well, if you don't initiate contact in this game, you're going to be knocked back. He who hits first is going to be successful.
Aberdeen, a junior, bigger and bigger role every year in this Florida program. The floater by Pettiford, and keep in mind he's a lefty, and he floated that in from 12 feet away with the right.
He sees a ranked team like a bull sees red. He plays better against ranked teams.
Condon from Aberdeen, and Florida is finding itself at the offensive end.
They just went with that open side pick and roll. And that clears the side, and Condon able to get a clear path to the basket. You just throw it up high.
Broom.
What a catch.
Yeah, tough one by Johnson. Over Houck, too strong, and Condon comes down for the rebound and is fouled by Moore.
Sahad Pettiford averages just under 12 points per game, but he's going to get a ball screen here. He rejects it. Instead of going into it, crosses over. That gives him the space to knock down that lefty jump shot. And then here, he is amphibious with the right hand.
As we mentioned, Bruce Pearl and Todd Golden, the coaches of these two programs, are very, very close. Their relationship goes back to 2009 when Bruce Pearl was the coach of Team USA at the Maccabi or Maccabea Games, a competition for Jewish athletes that takes place every 4 years in Israel. A young Todd Golden and a young Stephen Pearl, both playing on that team for Bruce. Eventually, a few years later, Todd Golden, who had been at Columbia, comes here as an assistant for a couple of years for Bruce Pearl, and he and Stephen Pearl, Todd and Stephen Pearl, each described the other as basically my best friend. They talk every single day about basketball, about other teams in the SEC, but Jay, as is always the case, they had to shut it down before this one. It's all about getting the W for everybody involved.
Yeah, Bruce says he roots for Todd every game but one. That's when they're playing Auburn. But you can tell how proud he is of the job that Todd Golden has done, not only at Florida, but when he was at San Francisco as well.
3 years as an assistant there under Kyle Smith, and then 3 years as the head coach. Urban Klavjar, who's going to get a lot of minutes today. Martin out. Richards got foul trouble, although he's back in. Klavjar, a sophomore from Slovenia, hit two huge threes in the win Tuesday over Vandy, turning a three-point lead into a 9-point lead in the second half as Chaney Johnson answers for the Tigers.
Klavjar's got to hunt open shots because he does not miss when he's open. If he's got pressure on him, that's one thing. But those 2 threes he hit against Vanderbilt were gigantic in Florida getting a win without Walter Clayton Jr.
Thomas Houck, all kinds of moves, and the foul on Chad Baker-Mazzara.
Boy, these big guys from Florida, Thomas Houck, Alex Condon, they are very, very skilled. They can spin in the lane. Nice little up and under move by Houck, and both are outstanding rebounders.
Houck is just a sophomore out of New Oxford, Pennsylvania. 30 rebounds in his last 3 games. And one thing Bruce Pearl said before the game today is his big guys have to be able to match the physicality of the Florida big guys. Condon, Houck, and Ruben Chinyelu as well.
Those 3 have no off switch. And especially for Condon and Houck, they've really raised the level of competitiveness in this Florida program. And they're one reason that the defense has made such a big jump from last year to this year. Elijah Martin, the transfer from Florida Atlantic, who's out today with that hip pointer, he's another reason.
To your point, Florida 94th in defensive efficiency per Ken Pom last year, 14th this year. There's Martin out with a hip slash side injury. It was a great play that he made Tuesday against Vandy, diving for a loose ball, got him an extra possession, but got the worst of it. Did come back into that game, but unable to go today. Clayton gets it back from Houck.
Really hard to trap Walter Clayton Jr. So good with the ball.
And a three will go for Sam Alexis, a junior from Apopka, Florida, and the Gators are right back in this game.
That's just the fourth three of the season for Sam Alexis, matching his jersey number. But he was wide open.
He is the eighth man in what is generally an eight-man rotation. Klavjar would be number 9, and he's going to get a lot of minutes today. But to give Florida a lot of credit in this kind of atmosphere for fighting back into it.
Well, good job by Condon or Houck it was, going down into the low post. That cleared that space for Alexis to come up top.
At one point early, Auburn led by 10. Florida turns it over. Clayton and Alexis could not connect.
And Will Richard was wide open as a result of that roll. Chad Baker-Mazara had to tag the roller, come off his man to just put his body in front of that roll. And that meant Richard, and they call it shake action, coming up from the corner was wide open. Clayton needs to see that.
Hediford sits, Kelly back in for the Tigers. Chaney Johnson, bounce pass into the paint, Dylan Cardwell.
How is that not a foul? He's got his arms wrapped around him.
And the jump hook a little bit short, letting him play. Richard back to Houck. Richard wide open, hits the three, and the Gators have the lead.
Great job by Thomas Houck of drawing that double team, then kicking it out. And when Will Richard caught it, he gave a little pass fake. And the pass fake froze the defender, gave him some extra time to get that shot off. That was really well done.
The number 6 team in the nation, Florida, 19-3. All 3 losses have come in conference play. Richard again. And Kelly down with a rebound. Their only losses at Kentucky, at home to Missouri by 1, and then at Tennessee, lost by 20, as the Vols avenged an earlier 30-point loss to Florida.
Boy, Florida's really tightened up its defense. An excellent switch by Walter Clayton Jr. He switched up to take something away instead of just switching out.
Jones on the drive, and he draws a foul. 7:48 to go, and Jay, the Gators have taken the lead.
They've done it with defense, tightening up on the defensive end. They get out in transition a few times, and here, after this throwback, Houck draws the double, kicks it back out. The pass fake froze the defender, and he knocks down the 3 to give Florida the lead.
Then when we get these misses, all 5 got a game rebound, right? We did a good job keeping their feet on our back. Guards come down to rebound. When we get big rebounds, run, man, run. They are not elite transition. Get the ball up the floor and across the floor.
So the message there, rebound and run. Those are 2 things Florida does very well. They're among the top teams in the nation in fast break points per game. They have gotten hot lately, not so much with fast break points in this one, but a rebound and run are 2 of the most important things in this Gator program.
Well, Auburn is a very good offensive rebounding team. They get about 37% of their misses. Florida is elite. You know, they get over 40% of their misses. That's second in the conference to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M plays volleyball on the offensive glass. It's ridiculous how many offensive boards they get.
They got a lead at Mizzou first half right now, but Columbia, that game on the SEC network. It's already been an interesting day in the SEC. Vandy picked up another win as the Commodores beat Texas 86-78 in Nashville. Tennessee looked impressive in a win in Norman to beat Oklahoma by 18. And Kentucky, which needed a win, got one at home against South Carolina. You and I are going to be in Lexington Tuesday night. Wildcats and the Vols. Condon runs it down, but Chinyelu couldn't handle the pass.
Almost an outstanding save to Ruben Chinyelu for a bucket.
Tied at 23. Broom back into the game after sitting for about 4 minutes. Jaheim Hudson, the offensive rebound. Miles Kelly again.
Miles Kelly created space for that shot without taking a dribble. Just a simple little jab step got the defender to back up a bit.
He's got 7. Richard no. Chinyelu the rebound, and it goes.
Talk about a rebound in traffic. Chinyelu does not only a great job on the glass, but he's an excellent screener. And oftentimes he will duck into the post and Florida can get a drive. He essentially screens the help defense.
Oh, Kelly got open again, and he makes Florida pay again.
One of the best open shooters in the country.
41% from three on the season.
He had a terrific career at Georgia Tech, but now he's playing for a team that can give him some extra space. He's not the top guy on the scouting report, so he winds up with some open opportunities that he didn't have at Georgia Tech.
Great defensive set here by the Tigers. Aberdeen has to force it, and Auburn's got it.
But really smart by Chris Moore. He came back to the ball there. That could have been picked off if he had let it come to him, but he closed the distance by coming back a step to the ball.
Broom one-on-one, isolated with Chinyelu. The spin and the finish.
He may not be the quickest cat out there, but he is in complete control of what he is doing, and he's going to get back to that left hand no matter what.
Averaging better than 18 a game to go with almost 11 rebounds per game. Nice turnaround bank from Walter Clayton Jr.
He has so much game. At 33 points against Kentucky, went 6 of 12 from 3 in that game, and he's had 6 games this year with 25 points or more.
Number 1 Auburn, number 6 Florida. Kelly. Not this time, and the rebound belongs to Moore, who had hoped somebody was standing in the corner, but there was nobody there.
Miles Kelly's coming off a 9-point game against Oklahoma where he was 1 of 7 from 3. But that little jab step gave him all the space that he needed, and gets a screen from Hudson, steps out and fades to the three-point line, and you let him catch and shoot, forget it. And Johni Broome, this guy has a lot of game, and he's really improved. He was Player of the Year in the Ohio Valley Conference at Morehead State, both overall and defensively. And he's got even better under Bruce Pearl.
And remember, has come back from a couple of injuries this year, a shoulder injury in the non-conference, and then more recently an ankle injury that cost him a couple of games. Boy, how in the world did that ball not go down? But it is going to send Houck to the line.
Yeah, late call while the official processed the play, but Houck got fouled 3 or 4 times on that drive.
Not a friendly rim here at Auburn. Coming up at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN, it is a sonic blockbuster to begin a big-time triple header. Duke is taking on Clemson. So Johni Broome, Player of the Year candidate here. Cooper Flagg, Player of the Year candidate there. And it marks the return of Dick Vitale to the airwaves after about 2 years. Everybody who knows and follows and loves college basketball and loves Dick Vitale knows that everything that he's been through battling cancer. We are thrilled to say that he is going to be on the mic along with Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander for Duke and Clemson at Littlejohn tonight. And turned back over to Florida. And on the court, how about the Player of the Year race between Johni Broome and Cooper Flagg, and how much fun it is to follow each guy each game?
It's become a 2-horse race, I think. I thought Cam Jones of Marquette was in it earlier this year, but it reminds you a little bit of, what was it, 2006 probably, with Adam Morrison of Gonzaga and J.J. Redick of Duke.
Yep. And they also play for the number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation as well. Condon has it. 10 to shoot. Clayton got it. And Florida's back on top again.
His range is in the building. Walter Clayton Jr. started his career at Iona, playing for Rick Pitino. And he has been spectacular in a Gators uniform the last 2 seasons.
Very talented high school football player. Played offense and defense, quarterback, wideout, DB, but liked basketball more. And he was getting big-time offers in football. Condon muscling Broome down underneath the bucket, and that extends the lead for the Gators.
Thomas Houck on that last defensive possession did a great job of keeping Johni Broome from that left hand. And Broom can make plays with his right, but he is not as good. And Houck did a really nice job defensively in the post.
At one point, Auburn led by 10. Florida on a 9-0 run with a 3-point lead. Kelly, good ball pressure by Aberdeen, but Kelly keeps going and scores. Miles Kelly is having himself a half.
They call goaltending. I think Todd Golden asked them, hey, you need to take a look at that the next break. Walter Clayton Jr. averages about 18 points a game, but there is no place on a basketball floor that he is not in range. And Condon with a great drop step in the left hand.
Chris, Coach, thank you very much. To Tom's point, both teams shooting the three well. Auburn 4 for 9, Florida 5 for 11, and Florida with the ball in a 1-point lead.
Florida needs to keep putting pressure on the rim, whether it's off the dribble, getting it inside to their big guys, or on cuts, because that's the kind of thing that can open up some open perimeter shots.
Tough 2 will rattle home for Clayton. They lead by 3 again, and keep in mind, no Elijah Martin today, and Will Richard has had to sit for long stretches, Jay, of the first half with 2 fouls, and they're still in the lead.
Well, when you have a scorer like Walter Clayton Jr. that is an on-demand scorer, you give him the ball, he can go get you a bucket. You don't have to run anything.
He's got 10, and he's down with a rebound off the miss by Kelly. He was thinking about it. He's doing more than thinking about it, and he hits again.
He is on a heater. And to your point, I'm not sure he was thinking about it. He's feeling it. He is absolutely feeling it.
5 for 6 from the field, 3 for 4 from three-point range, and 2 of them have been awfully deep. Walter Clayton Jr., that stretches in this one, is taking it over here in the jungle. A contested 2, and then another very deep 3, and Florida's got the lead. UFC 312 is tonight in Australia, highlighted by 2 title fights. The middleweight and women's strawweight belts are both on the line. The main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. The prelims at 8 Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus in both English and Spanish. To order the main card, go to ESPNplus.com/PPV. What does Auburn need to do to get energized again, Jay, at the offensive end?
Well, they need to step up when they're in switch situations or in ball screen situations, not stay at the level of the screen. Because right now, Walter Clayton Jr. is having his way.
That's a pretty good game plan. Get it to Broom and let him get over that right shoulder. He wanted a foul call on that as well.
Oh, he stuck his arm right into Alexis and knocked him back. There was not much Alexis could do there.
Alexis giving up a fair bit of size in that matchup with Broom.
Nice job by Chaney Johnson to step up into Walter Clayton Jr. But then Chad Baker-Mazara commits the cardinal sin foul of fouling a three-point shooter.
And Bruce Pearl just turned to Terry Oglesby, the official, and said that was a flop. Got him on the arm. I mean, he may have fallen after, also kind of kicked his leg out, but he got him on the arm, it looked like. And this is the strength of this Florida, the guards. Clayton shoots 86% from 3. He can beat you outside, he can beat you in the mid-range, and he can beat you at the line.
Yeah, the only guard group that shoots better is Auburn.
Yes.
Auburn's guards are dead-eye free throw shooters.
Their 4 primary perimeter players shoot 89% as a group on the season. And it is now the largest lead of the game for the Gators. Again, remember, they were down 10 early in this one. Clayton's got 16, including 13 of Florida's last 17 points.
Just screening Janai Broom into the low post, a little on big screen.
Boy, he always gets back to that right shoulder, but this time couldn't finish. And Aberdeen called for an offensive foul.
I did see him use that right arm. Yeah, he did. Just a little push off, and anytime the reaction's that way, the official's going to call it.
And right now, Chad Baker-Mazara, who will talk to anybody in the building, is talking to Todd Golden, the head coach of the Gators, but it all appears to be very good-natured. Kelly with 12 to lead Auburn. Clayton with 16 to lead everybody. Johnson, strong stuff.
It looked like Auburn was going to go into their flex action with 3 on the baseline, try to get it inside to Broom when he set that screen. Usually the rollback guy is going to be open, but Chaney Johnson just took it right down the lane line. That's the way they get into their flex action up top. But Johnson has been very aggressive in this game. And when Janai Broom was out 5 games ago or so, Chaney Johnson did a terrific job coming in for him.
He played 34 minutes in a game against Mississippi State, scored 17 points.
They're looking to see who the foul's on.
And the brief delay was to make sure they had the right person assigned for the foul, and it is Houck. His first. Johnson, 3 years at Division II, University of Alabama at Huntsville, and now just a terrific player off the bench for the #1 team in the nation. Clayton can't get by a couple of defenders, finds Houck. Houck spinning in the paint, forced it up, and it won't go. Out of bounds, it is Florida ball with a fresh 20.
Even after Houck missed that shot, among some great defense at the rim, he still goes after the ball. He and Condon are just relentless on the offensive glass.
They've missed 12 shots. They've gotten 6 offensive rebounds. Can Clayton get it in? No, he cannot.
Auburn spends so much time in their scouting report, in their game preparation on out of bounds underneath. Not only their offensive opportunities, but defense as well. And they switched all those actions. They cross-matched and pre-switched too.
Final minute of the first half. A tough shot contested 2 by Johnson. Condon, little shovel pass, and Houck is fouled by Broom.
What a nice pass on the terrific cut by Thomas Houck. Those two, Condon and Houck, are roommates and know each other extraordinarily well, but just a terrific pass.
We have a lot of really good passing big men on both teams here in this game.
Very skilled big men.
Yes.
Because both Houck and Condon can grab a defensive rebound. They can bring it up.
Made them both. Florida by 6. Hediford with 5 off the bench for the Tigers.
There's that flex rollback. Whoa.
And Broom called for an offensive foul and quickly picks up 2. I think he got the foul at the other end. No, Kelly got it at the other end, so just the first on Broom.
Official saying he lowered his shoulder here. But it was right in the, it was a primary defender, so the charge circle didn't matter. That's for a secondary defender, help defender.
You want to tell the fans behind us who are asking them to go to the monitor?
Well, they can go to the monitor all they want. They don't review those.
Oh,
things.
I know.
That's all we need are more monitor plays. We have too many already. They need to go to the NBA system and just have 1 challenge per team, and that's the end of it.
Looks like Florida's going to hold the ball here, about a 5-second difference. Houck takes the 3 and hits.
But Florida really punished Auburn for trying to double team the ball when Walter Clayton Jr. had it. Just not a rotation to Houck.
Houck, a 30% three-point shooter, had all kinds of space. Condon a rebound, and he's fouled. Wow. And that is number 7 on Auburn, so that's going to be 1-1 for the Gators.
Florida has played some of its best basketball in the last 3 minutes. A double team, but it had to come a long way. And you couldn't rotate to Thomas Houck. He had plenty of time to step into that shot. Condon getting away with a little bit of a push, but then gets fouled as soon as he tries to take the ball down the other end, that rip and run.
Condon makes the front end, a young man who in his formative years in Australia played cricket, Aussie rules football, and water polo, but has settled on basketball. And I'm sure he was really good at those other sports, but I think he made a good choice.
Well, I think I can say with authority he's the best cricket player in the Southeastern Conference, maybe the country.
And the first half comes to a close. It was all Auburn early. It was all Florida late. Walter Clayton Jr. with a big half. And the Gators close strong and have a 10-point lead here at Neville Arena over the #1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers. Jess Sims is with Florida coach Todd Golden.
Coach, your star Walter Clayton Jr. has 16 points in his first game back. You're shooting almost 60% from the three in the field. What do you like about your offense?
He's one of the best players in America, and he's proving it right now. It's obviously great to have him back after not having him on Tuesday. And he's just stepped up in a big way. This is a big moment, and he's ready for it. He's doing a great job. But really, all of our guys are playing really well. I thought after the first 4 minutes, we kind of settled into ourselves defensively. We're doing a great job on the glass, and we're taking care of the basketball. We're doing what we need to do to win the game.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
+7 on the glass to Coach Golden's point, and close the half at a 23-7 run. Halfway through, Florida by 10 here in the jungle. Back to the studio, Tom Green, Chris Budden.
Thanks so much, Dan. Welcome to our ESPN Half.
By a lifetime guarantee. Features meant to move.
And welcome back to ESPN Saturday Primetime. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. #6 Florida leading #1 Auburn. One of the big reasons why Walter Clayton Jr. has been hitting them from all over the place. A couple of logo distance threes. He's got a game high 16. What a half for the Gators, who trailed by 10, now lead by 10. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, what'd you think of what you saw?
Just really resilient on the part of Florida. The Gators shot 57% from the field in that first half, and they went 7 of 13 from three-point range. And they're really led by their All-America caliber point guard, Walter Clayton Jr. You can see in this broken play, Tahad Pettiford got caught just a little lackadaisical trying to get back to Clayton. He hit that logo three, and then here in transition, a nice little brush screen set by I think that's Condon. Or no, it's Howe. But if you don't step right up and take that away, you certainly can't go under. But you get picked off by that screen. You can't stay at the level of the screen. You got to come out. And they have to do a better job, I think, Auburn, on the glass in this second half. They got out-rebounded by 7. They have to win the glass to win the game.
Jess Sims spoke moments ago with Bruce Pearl.
I did, Dan. I caught up with Auburn's coach, Bruce Pearl, as he was coming out of the locker room, and he said, listen, on the defensive end, we are not executing, and our whole execution plan was ball screen coverage, and that requires a lot of effort, and that effort we are not putting forth so far. And offensively, we're missing a ton of shots inside, so we got to finish those.
They've only lost one game all season. That was to Duke on December the 4th at Cameron. They feel virtually unbeatable in this building, but what a half it was for the Gators. Richard into Chinyelu for the slam, and the lead is a dozen.
Boy, after that handoff, Chinyelu really went hard to the basket. It might be a sacrificial cut most of the time, but when you make that cut hard, it can open up space for the perimeter.
And again, for those just joining us or who weren't with us at the beginning, no Elijah Martin for the Gators. Out after that hip injury he suffered on Tuesday, and still Florida has a 12-point lead. Broom, bounce pass, Cardwell blocked, but a foul.
After getting into a horn set early, you see Chinyelu goes for this little handoff and immediately cuts to the basket. Chad Baker-Mazara not even able to tag him. He just ran right through it. Not enough pressure on the ball in order to keep that pass out of there. And that's really an issue, I think, for Auburn. Can they get more pressure on the basketball?
A fairly quiet game thus far for Baker-Mazara. Cardwell at the line. Fifth-year player in this program. This is his 151st game. Got his rebound. Well, he didn't get the two the usual way, but he figured it out.
And nobody boxed out the shooter. That's the easiest basket that Dylan Cardwell is going to have all season.
Clayton finds Condon. And Condon scores over Cardwell.
Boy, how about the pass fake he made in the air to Ruben Chinyelu? He is such a skilled big man, Alex Condon.
Yeah, their big guys are a great combination of skill and toughness, and we've seen both on display here today.
And they have challenged everything at the rim, even that last foul they had on Dylan Cardwell. They're not giving up anything easy.
No double on Broom, banging with Condon. And can't hit it. Boy, he backed him down as much as he wanted to, but couldn't finish.
Talk about a tough two, just wasn't able to complete it.
Condon misses a three at the other end. Denver Jones racing into the front court. Puts it up from the free throw line. Cardwell the rebound. Cardwell back to Kelly again. Two-man game.
Terrific job by Chinyelu to help and take away that three.
They got to reset. Baker Mazzara, shot clock at 5. Got his man in the air, missed the shot. Richard racing down the court, he'll lay it in.
It's almost like Auburn was stunned by that shot and miss by Chad Baker Mazzara. They just didn't get back.
There has been a 24-point swing in this game. Broom lays it in and one.
And watch when Alex Condon catches this ball. Pass fake in the air. And then uses good footwork to get back to that left shoulder and right hand and get it to go off the glass. But there was just no reaction here from Auburn to get back. And just an easy basket in transition. Those were hard to find in the first half.
Todd Golden has made an early substitution here in the second half. Chinyelu goes to the bench after picking up his second foul, and Thomas Houck, who was great in the first half, is back into the game.
Yeah, Houck had 10 points in that first half. And he plays very well with Condon. It gives them two really skilled big guys.
And the home run pass, and Condon is held and scores anyway.
Boy, how about that? Talk about throwing to the back shoulder. The pressure was coming full court from Auburn. They have to do something to shake up this game. And you're looking at a former football player in Walter Clayton Jr. He was a free safety. Elijah Martin, who's out this game. He was the quarterback. You'd think Martin would be throwing that pass, but maybe Walter Clayton Jr. sending a message to his high school football coach. Hey, man, you should have let me have the ball more as quarterback.
They used it twice with Martin throwing the ball against Vandy on Tuesday. Again, if we're sticking with the football analogies, it's a 2-touchdown lead right now for the Gators. Baker Mazzara a miss. Rebound Aberdeen.
Walter Clayton Jr. got away with a little push there, but he's down there rebounding. All 5 guys in blue are on the defensive boards. But Walter Clayton wants a clear out because he's got Dylan Cardwell on him.
Florida has already beaten a #1 team this year. Did it when Tennessee was ranked first, trying for their second win over a #1 ranked team in the same season. How could miss Auburn ball? Still a long, long way to go, though, in this one.
Actually, what Clayton Jr. wanted was to get the ball inside to Condon, who had Chad Baker Mazzara switched off on him. But I thought he should have taken Dylan Cardwell. When you're having the kind of game that Walter Clayton Jr. is, you want to get him as many shots as you can.
Broom to inbound. Broom with 9 points, 4 assists in this game. Kelly a miss. Houck wraps it up.
What an easy layup opportunity. Dylan Cardwell had sealed off the defense.
And another deep one for Walter Clayton Jr. And the lead is 17 for the Gators.
Well, you miss a layup and it leads to an open 3 in transition. Auburn looks a little shell-shocked out there.
Jay, Florida did not have a single fast break point in the first half. They've got 8 already in the second half. And now Broome just reaches out and grabs Clayton.
Just a frustration foul. They're going to take a look to see whether that is a flagrant. It certainly wasn't a play on the ball. Boy, then in transition, if you don't pick up well above the three-point line, Walter Clayton Jr. is going to pull up. And your pickup point cannot be high enough. I think this grab by Chani Broome could very well be a flagrant one.
So the ruling on the floor, a common foul. The play is under review to see if it should be upgraded. And as you said, clearly just a frustration foul by Chani Broome. And
I don't know whether that last grab of the jersey rises to the level. It certainly didn't look like a play on the ball, but does that rise to the level of unnecessary?
And it looks like a fairly quick resolution. And just guessing here, it looks like they're leaving it as a common foul. Terry Oglesby heading over now to the Auburn huddle. Owen Short coming over to us. And the wording from Owen Short, common foul confirmed. He made a play on the ball.
That's a liberal interpretation of play on the ball. But the ball was near it.
So the foul is the second on Broome, and it'll be inbounded by Richard. The Florida Gators trying to make a major statement here today. Houck hit one in the first half. Short on this, Condon the rebound.
They're just quicker to the ball.
Richard got a clean look, and Pettiford down with it for the Tigers.
Usually those are the threes that really hurt after an offensive rebound and a kick out.
Pettiford way off, but Broome the rebound. Triple team. Now 2 of them leave, but he can't score. And Broome has missed a couple of shots around the rim, Jay, that he rarely misses.
Rarely. And we've seen a number of near layups missed.
Aberdeen. Houck. Too strong off the glass. Condon is there.
But there is not a time when a shot goes up that Houck, Condon, Chinyelu, when he's in the ball game, where they're not pounding the offensive glass.
And not surprisingly for a team that's only lost once, this is the largest deficit of the season for Auburn. Pettiford with a bucket and draws a foul at the other end to take us to immediate timeout here early in the second half here in the jungle. The Florida Gators on the road against number 1 are firing on all cylinders right now, and the Tigers need some answers.
We can do a better job on the offensive glass now. Let's do a better job on the offensive glass. Finish. They're finishing. We've got to finish. We've got to finish. Take your time. Finish through the contact. Don't try to draw the foul. In big games, guys, all year long, the rest of the year, they're going to let us play.
Don't try to draw the foul. Play through the contact. Finish the shot. Things that Bruce Pearl really hasn't had to say to this team a lot this season.
Well, he certainly hasn't had to say it with a deficit like this. But give Florida credit. The Gators have been on point in every aspect of the game.
And Pettiford misses the free throw, but Auburn gets it back. Kelly flies in and lays it in, and it's a 4-point possession for the Tigers.
Well, every aspect except free throw blockouts. That's the second bucket that Auburn has had off free throw box out. Dylan Cardwell had that one where he was the shooter.
Richard misses the three. Moore the rebound for Auburn.
One thing Florida cannot do is settle.
Kelly, Cardwell, Condon now for Florida. 4 on 3. Klobuchar open and hits the three, and a foul away from the ball, I believe, against Auburn. The shot will count for Urban Klobuchar. And there's a foul on Dylan Cardwell of the Tigers.
Just a push in the back. You see Alex Condon trying to block out, and Cardwell just bowled him over. Klobuchar, if you leave him open as a catch-and-shoot threat, he is a big-time shooter. Now he's got some confidence.
He's made both of his threes in this one. Another Auburn foul, this time Chaney Johnson. And again, for those who were with us early, Klobuchar made 2 very timely threes in the second half Tuesday night in Florida's win over Vandy.
Yeah, without those 2 threes, I'm not sure Florida comes away with the win. You have to force Walter Clayton Jr. to his left. He cannot go to his right. He's much better to his right.
Klobuchar, you talked about confidence, and it is growing by the minute.
And that was with the defender right in his grill.
He has played in some big-time basketball, has represented Slovenia in international play, was one of the stars in the 20 and under European Cup last year when Slovenia won the silver medal. As loud as the jungle can get, I don't think it's bothering him one bit.
And with Klobuchar, he is such a good shooter, you have to make him dribble the ball. So when the ball's coming at him, you have to recover right to him and make him put it on the deck.
Florida 10 for 21 from three-point range. Actually not a great three-point shooting team of the season, just under 34%, but they are firing today. Kelly. And Houck might have gotten a piece of it, and then a foul will send Cardwell to the line.
I think Houck did get a piece of it. Dylan Cardwell had done a very nice job of screening off help right by the rim. That put him in really good position to get that offensive board, but that would have been easily completed if not for Thomas Houck coming from the left side. Take a look at Cardwell, just screens off Alexis, and then Houck got a piece of it, but Cardwell right there for the offensive rebound. And this is an important free throw blockout right now. Cardwell not a great free throw shooter.
He does hit it. Auburn just 50% from the line today, 6 for 12.
Auburn coming with full court pressure.
Clayton brings it over with ease. Johnson is on. Tough pull-up three, won't go. And Alexis couldn't come down with it. Here come the Tigers.
He took a little push in the back, but you're going to have to play through that. It's not going to be called.
Johnson with a big size advantage, and Clayton fouls him before the shot.
Not a bad take. Give the foul there while it's on the floor. Make him inbound it.
The only issue is that is now 6 already here in the second half for the Gators. The next one will send Auburn to the line. So free throws may become a big, big part of this game. Pettiford doesn't need a lot of space, does he? Ball's loose, and it's stolen by Johnson. Kelly gets the roll, and it's a quick 5-0 run, Tigers, and Todd Golden wants a timeout.
Sahad Pettiford, who plays his best in big games. You go underneath on him, he's going to pull the trigger with that left hand, and just a little loose with the ball. Miles Kelly got a piece of it and gets rewarded on the other end. Auburn showing some fight.
Time and time again, Dick, we're so happy for you that you are back where you want to be. And while we're talking about legendary announcers, let's mention Hubie Brown. The incomparable Hubie Brown will call his final game. It'll be tomorrow with Mike Breen, 76ers and Bucks, 1 o'clock Eastern on ABC. I've had the great pleasure of working with both Dick Vitale and Hubie Brown many times, and I know you would echo my sentiments about Hubie. I mean, one of the absolute treasures on a coaching level, a broadcasting level that the game of basketball has ever seen.
He is just a treasure in the game of basketball, Hubie Brown. And you've heard this story, Dan. I was at a clinic among former Duke coaches back in the day, and Hubie Brown was spectacular at that clinic.
Condon the flush on the feed from Clayton.
Hubie Brown got up on a chalkboard and was going to talk about special situations. And he starts talking about 1984, where the Brazilian women's team had a player named Hortensia, and how they handled box and 1 and triangle and 2 against Hortensia.
Yeah.
And all from memory.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If you've never had dinner with Hubie Brown where he starts moving around the salt and the pepper shakers doing plays from 40, 50 years ago, I mean, both for Dickie B and for Hubie, just wonderful for both of them to be on the air this weekend.
Alex Condon back into the ball game for Florida. He is such a difference maker for the Gators. Great block out by Chaney Johnson to keep him off the offensive glass.
Lavjar the foul. Auburn showing signs of life here midway through the second half, but they are still down 15 here in the jungle with the Gators leading the #1 team in the nation.
Florida sophomores Alex Condon and Thomas Houck have a combined 24 points tonight, but it extends beyond the court because they are roommates and best friends, y'all. Their friendship started this summer before their freshman year when they went fishing together in Delaware with Houck's family, and Condon reeled in an 8-foot tiger shark. Alex told me earlier today that Tommy and his whole family have been really instrumental for him as he adapted to the U.S. environment from Australia. And on the court, Coach Golden said these two are the best two-man lineup in the league. They're in the 100th percentile. Condon told me also that they bounce off each other and they know where each other are always going to be on the court, especially down in the post, which we've seen here this afternoon.
Jess, thank you. To Jess's point about what Todd Golden said, he said if you look at the analytics, any pair of teammates on any team in the SEC, there's no pair that is more successful, more efficient, offensive minus defensive efficiency than this pairing. And Houck doesn't start, Jay, but he is, in effect, a starter, plays big minutes, and has certainly been a huge part in this game today.
He's been really effective. Those two have combined for 24 points, 14 rebounds, and they've drawn 9 fouls on Auburn together. And Alex Condon has 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists in this game. He's 6 for 7 from the field.
And an Auburn foul. The ball was loose, and I think Denver Jones got called for grabbing Denzel Aberdeen, and now the officials say they're going to go to the monitor. And again, after a missed free throw.
Call on the court is a common foul on number 2, White. That plays under review.
So the call is on Denver Jones, a common foul. Let's see what happened. At the free throw line.
I want to see if it's a hook and hold. And I think it is.
That's a hook and hold.
That's a hook and hold.
Yeah. If you're calling hook and hold plays, that's a hook and hold.
We had an arm draped around him. I think he's just trying to get it off him at first. It doesn't look quite as bad from that angle, but the other angle is clear. This is clear hook and hold, but you know, what do? They didn't call the first foul getting wrapped around.
I think you got to
even
call
though that's
that
just
one.
Rebounding.
Yeah. You're right. It looks different
than it is.
Yeah,
it looks worse than
After
it is.
review, the play's been confirmed. Common foul on number 2, White.
Common foul. The Auburn fans are booing. The options were common foul or upgraded to a flagrant. So this actually went in Auburn's favor. They didn't want any kind of a foul, but there clearly was a foul on the play. And he's just saying he's boxing. You can see what Denver Jones is saying. I'm just boxing out. I think he might have gotten away with it.
No, he wasn't boxing out. He's saying the other guy,
was boxing
Aberdeen, had his arms around him.
Right.
Boxing him out, which, by rule, they're supposed to call, but they never do.
Good job by Condon to come back into the backcourt and help Clayton get it in. Globshar's hit 3 threes in this game. 5 for 5 from 3 his last 2 games.
Well, he got hit in the face twice. Globshar is like, really?
Elijah Martin's right there with him. But no call, and the held ball will turn it over to Auburn on the possession arrow. Well, as Bruce Pearl said in a recent timeout, and we played you the audio, he said, guys, in games like this, they're going to let you play. Play through it.
He got grabbed, then hit in the face.
Yeah. This is getting more and more physical. And an Auburn turnover.
Right now, Florida needs to get a little deeper in the clock because they didn't have transition.
Clayton somehow finds Houck, who lays it in.
Boy, what a catch and what a finish by Thomas Houck. Didn't look like there was anything there for Walter Clayton Jr., but late before he hit the ground, he just found his teammate.
Jay, in addition to Clayton's 19 points, he's got a game-high 8 assists today. Johnson over Condon. As Auburn goes to stretch here with Janai Broom on the bench.
Excellent use of the pivot foot to get some movement and move the defender, Condon.
Good show by Johnson. Houck will kick it back out. Condon. A little strong on the 3.
Boy, Auburn very fortunate there. You never leave the ball. On the pass fake, the defender leaves, and it's a wide open 3. Very fortunate that Condon missed it.
Midway point of the second half, and the #1 team in the nation down 14 on its home court.
What a nice job by Aberdeen to stay in front of the ball.
Forces Pettiford into a tough shot. And a strong two-handed rebound by Condon results in a foul on Cardwell.
And not just the rebound, Dan, which is a great point, but the box out. Alex Condon kept Dylan Cardwell, one of the best offensive rebounders in the country, on his back, and then went up with 2 hands, which is not easy to do.
Condon had 19 points, 9 rebounds Tuesday night against Vandy. He's already got 14 points and 9 rebounds in this one.
Don't want to catch it there. That's an immediate trap.
And Clayton stepped out of bounds. And Todd Golden might think he had a little help going out of bounds.
He did. But as Louis Carnesecca used to say, it's a subway push.
Janai Broom has returned for Auburn, as has Chad Baker-Mazzara. It's been a quiet 15 minutes for Baker-Mazzara in this one.
A lot of times what Auburn likes to do when Chad Baker-Mazzara is there, he's going to come up to the elbow, and Janai Broom will set a screen. Now he's going to shoot out to the corner.
Johnson, the assist to Broom, 12-point game.
They went right into flex action. Chaney Johnson was the screener, came right back to the ball.
Aberdeen, they barely get it in, and a foul on Johnson as Auburn is getting more and more aggressive on inbounds.
Well, if they're going to come after you like that, you have to be strong with the ball and then step to the line and hit your free throws. Auburn is going to try to make this as chaotic as possible with full court pressure.
A ton of time left, both teams in the bonus. Start your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's matchups. Stanford and Louisville at noon Eastern on ESPN2. Then how about this one? South Carolina and Texas at 2 Eastern. 2 of the top 4 teams in the rankings. And then Tennessee and LSU in Baton Rouge.
Little 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure right now for Florida.
A miss by Baker Mazzara, and everybody rebounds for Florida. Boy, do those guards do a great job coming down to help.
Yeah, Will Richard averages 5 rebounds a game, as does Elijah Martin. He's not playing in this game. Boy, not a good pass. One-handed by Condon, not necessary.
.904 to go. It is still a 14-point game. And nothing Richard could do about that.
This 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure is primarily to slow the advance of Auburn. Let's take a little bit of time off, then Auburn doesn't get into anything till about 16 on the clock. Good pass.
Broom banks it home, and a foul.
Just on that little side pick and roll. You're rolling right to the basket. That means the weak side helper has to come over. That's Thomas Houck. Couldn't get there in time. And even though it wasn't a lot of contact, picked up the foul.
And well short. Saved, and Auburn ball. Pettiford. Broom comes up with a loose ball. And the corner 3 for Miles Kelly.
Some of Auburn's best offense has come off a missed free throw.
Yep. And here they come, down by 9. Florida has led by as many as 21. And now an Auburn foul. It's Baker Mazzara to send the Gators back to the line.
Auburn has at least 7 points. It could be more. I may have miscounted, but at least 7 points off missed free throws. And this looks surprisingly similar to the pass in 3 from Janai Broom to Miles Kelly that wound up winning them the Tennessee game.
Will Richard at the line for Florida. 1 year with Belmont, now in his 3rd year in Gainesville. Richard, an 80% free throw shooter on the season.
You have to think the foul line is going to be a huge factor going down the stretch, the last 8 minutes of regulation, which puts a spotlight on free throw blockouts, which have been an issue for Florida against Auburn in this game.
Condon on the bench at the moment for the Gators. Up front, it's Chinyelu and Houck. Kelly behind a screen. Tipped up and followed by Broom.
Terrific play by Chad Baker Mazzara to keep that ball alive so Broom could get the stick back.
And Baker Mazzara may be shaken up. Was really grimacing on his way down the court, but now seems past it. Deafening noise here in the jungle. Aberdeen. Got to get a shot on. And an offensive rebound by Houck. Big play.
If you get a shot up, they can offensive rebound it. The worst thing you can do is turn it over.
Clayton. And look at the play by Houck. Aberdeen the 3. And the Auburn fans and the Auburn bench livid. There was no foul call on Houck, but what an effort by the sophomore to keep that one alive.
Well, in this game, if you initiate the physical contact, you're not getting called for it. If you retaliate with it, you might. Shot missed, and Houck goes and taps it back to a teammate for a wide open 3. Huge play.
KU update for you. Get you out to Como. Texas A&M up 3. Is it enough time?
It is enough time. The double pump almost goes down. Heck of an effort from Caleb Grill, but Wade Taylor the fourth. Chris, big time finish for Texas A&M.
Texas A&M wins 67-64. Back out to you guys at the Plains.
Boy, oh boy, the SEC action has been unbelievable all season long. Florida up 12 here. Let's go to Jess.
Dan, these two coaches know each other very well because both huddles said the exact same thing. Whoever rebounds is going to win this game.
And right now, Florida has a slight rebounding advantage, although Auburn has missed more shots, which lends itself to the other team getting more rebounds. Auburn is definitely playing, Jay, with a little more intensity than they did at times earlier in this game.
Well, full court pressure. They're taking some chances and really going after the ball. What a tough shot.
Cardwell with a rebound, and he's fouled.
Now, Dylan Cardwell shoots under 40% from the foul line, which means free throw blockouts are of paramount importance for Florida. Now, Alex Condon, an outstanding rebounder, coming back into the game.
Look at this lineup. This is the first time we've seen Condon, Hauk, and Chinyelu all in the game at the same time for Todd Golden.
Yeah, they want some bigger bodies in there, especially on the free throw blockout, because they've given up at least 7 points off missed free throws by Auburn.
And another miss. Rebound comes down to the Gators. Auburn 7 for 16 from the line.
Florida really spreading the court.
Condon into the chest of Cardwell, and he banks it in.
And Ruben Chinyelu did a great job of ducking into the lane and basically screening off weak side help so they couldn't attack Condon as he was driving to the basket.
Florida trying to match up. One of the bigs has to get a guard, and right now it's Hauk on Miles Kelly.
And Hauk is the one that moves his feet the best and is most likely to be able to guard a perimeter player.
Pettiford, a miss from the elbow, and a strong rebound by Chinyelu. 6 minutes to go.
They're really using Alex Condon as a pressure release because Janai Broome is not coming all the way out on him.
Clayton got 2 guys in the air, missed the 3, and Cardwell rips it down.
That's a big time rebound. Chinyelu had inside position.
Pettiford behind the back, now finds Kelly. Pettiford open in the corner. And Broome will get the roll. Boy, so much contact every time a rebound is available. Clayton. Condon. Left hand, no. And it's Auburn ball. Jones had it blocked.
That's a lot of big bodies for Denver Jones to try to go through in transition. And now Florida's going to spread it out. They don't want to come to a standstill here, but you want to use clock when you can.
Back to Clayton. Back to Condon. 6 on the clock. Richard, no. Tipped, and Hauk's got it. Richard again. Hits!
Well, you cannot ask guards to block out Ruben Chinyelu. And that's what happened to Todd Pettiford and Denver Jones. Heck, they're having to try to block him out. He's going to keep it alive, and they get another 3 off an offensive rebound.
12 made threes for Florida. Broome, no. Florida ball, but only briefly. Here comes Kelly. And another miss near the rim. There have been more of those in this game for the Tigers than you're used to seeing.
Florida does not need to be in a hurry here.
Under 4 to play, and a 15-point lead for number 6 Florida. Richard. Hauk. And Cardwell down with it. But again, the seconds continue to tick away here. Boy, all kinds of traffic. Pettiford down hard.
He got fouled on the perimeter and inside. Now watch Ruben Chinyelu here. Under the basket, he does a great job of ducking in and sealing help on this drive. So he seals off Dylan Cardwell. He can't get there to block the shot by Alex Condon. And then you're asking guards to block him out? Not going to happen. Keeps it alive to Houck. He kicks it to Richard. Another three.
Over on the ESPN app. It will follow you guys on ESPN2 when things wrap up in the Plains. Stay in.
Chris, thank you. 3:31 to go. And the Florida Gators leading the #1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers, by 15. One of the big reasons is they have made 12 threes here today.
Urban Klapchar has hit 3 of them. And then Walter Clayton Jr. was on fire in that first half. But a couple of these threes have been off the activity on the offensive boards. Tapping it out, kicking it out, having step-in threes. 12 of 30 for Florida from the three-point line, while Auburn 6 of 18. The Gators have doubled up Auburn from the three-point line.
And Gators staff have been looking at the right index finger of Walter Clayton Jr. periodically here in the last few minutes. He's become much more of a facilitator than a scorer here in the second half. Something is up with the index finger on his right hand. And now Chinyelu out, Aberdeen in. So when they've got the ball, 3 guards, this is the last time out. Maybe trying to freeze it a little bit, take some of the sting out of it, and just hope to get him through the next 3.5.
I don't know why you want to freeze the hot hand. Boy, what a good job by Thomas Houck to come back to the ball and present himself as a receiver. Houck has had an outstanding game.
Todd Golden told us this morning, I know our guards get all the love, and deservedly so with how good they are. He said, but our bigs deserve a little bit more attention than they're getting.
And I think he's right. Yeah. They have been at least the equal of the Auburn big guys, and in this game they've been better, frankly.
Richard misses the 3. Pettiford has it. 3 minutes to go in a 13-point game. Two on Baker Mazzara. Cardwell finds the open man. It's Miles Kelly. And the rebound down to Clayton, and a man down. It is Baker Mazzara down at the other end for Auburn. Aberdeen with a big corner 3. And now the whistle blows. And we will see what happened to Chad Baker Mazzara.
Auburn's had enough trouble guarding Florida with 5 guys. It's certainly not going to work with 4. You hope Baker Mazzara is okay. There have been bodies flying in this game, just like in every SEC game. These games are battles.
Oh, wow. Ran into his own man, Dylan Cardwell.
It's always the inadvertent ones that hurt the most.
And Baker Mazzara making his way to the locker room. The officials have said the last play is under review. They are at the monitor, but they very quickly see.
He got hit by his own man.
Yeah, he got hit by his own man. So 2:40 to go. How about Aberdeen knocking down a 3? He's got 10 points and 3 assists today in his second ever start.
Well, the bench has been really big for Florida in this game. You mentioned Denzel Aberdeen. Urban Klapchar has 9 points, 3 of 3 from the field, for 3 of 3 from 3. And then Thomas Houck has 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and also 3 blocked shots. He has been outstanding. Both the big guy, the starting, well, he's not a starter, but the big guys, the roommates, Houck and Condon, have been terrific.
Broom misses a 3. Cardwell kicks it back out to him. And the second time will go, 87-74. Timeout, Bruce Pearl. 2:27 to go. We're back in 30. This is an ESPN Sonic blockbuster.
I take the first shot, you keep it couple. We know
He is must-see television every time he puts that uniform on.
College basketball, it never disappoints.
How fun is this?
An ESPN blockbuster. Tennessee, Kentucky. Tuesday on ESPN.
The Florida Gators trying to knock off number 1 here in Auburn today. Todd Golden's team down 10 early. And now they've got a 13-point lead with 2:27 to go. Some Auburn streaks that are on the line. 15 straight against conference opponents. 14 in a row overall. 5 straight against top 25. From a Florida perspective, the Gators are 3-17 all time against the number 1 team in the nation. One of those wins just a few weeks ago against Tennessee. They are 0-7 all time against number 1 on the road. If they win this game, Jay, I think this goes up there with any other win that any team has had this year. Remember, they're playing without Elijah Martin, too. And if they can pick up this win on the road against number 1, this would be an incredible day for the Gators.
Well, Florida's been terrific offensively all year. It's its defense that's the most impressive thing.
And a lob won't go. A missed alley-oop, but a steal by Condon. And now a missed layup by Richard.
I don't know why Florida didn't pull that out and run some clock.
Really, both times they could have.
No need for it.
Yeah, and now a foul. So this is exactly what Todd Golden did not want to see. Not using clock at one end and stopping the clock at the other end.
Yeah, you want your team to be aggressive, but aggressive with smarts. And Alex Condon made an outstanding steal to get possession back. And there was no need to try to press it.
And it appears we have another monitor situation.
Do our ratings go up when they watch this much television?
Whatever it was, it's nothing. The foul there, I guess, did they get Clayton for the foul? Both guys hit him.
They got Clayton.
Yeah, but just a common foul. Two shots coming for Tahad Pettiford, the McDonald's All-American out of Jersey City.
And on this free throw blockout, Chinyelu and Hauk are able to get 2 big bodies on Janai Broom to try to keep him from getting a second chance opportunity if this is missed.
And them both. 11-point game. And here comes the pressure.
Remember, Florida's thrown over the top, a lot more difficult with Janai Broom guarding the ball.
Aberdeen and Clayton in the backcourt. Richard isn't in there, so it's 2 guards, 3 bigs. Trying to take it out of Clayton's hands.
Want to get the ball off the sideline.
Aberdeen. 8 on the shot clock. Hauk wide open. And the rebound down to Broom. A minute and a half to go. Pettiford. Cardwell will lay it in. It's a 9-point game. A minute 20 to go. And Cardwell knocks Condon down. And Condon will go to the line.
Condon just a 63% free throw shooter, so Cardwell making an intelligent choice to foul.
And Todd Golden has to keep making a decision here. Do I want my bigs in to help me rebound, or do I want my ball handlers and free throw shooters in? And he's going back to 3 guards now. Richard replaces Chinyelu.
And he went with the 3 bigs primarily when it was an Auburn free throw to keep them off the offensive glass.
Remember, Bruce Pearl gave Todd Golden a job as first the director of basketball ops, then an assistant coach here at Auburn some 10 years ago. And there is somewhat of a father-son relationship here. Todd and Stephen Pearl, Bruce Pearl's son and the associate head coach for the Tigers, describe each other as best friends. But there's been nothing friendly about this one today.
Yeah, it's not father-son when the game's going on, or if Todd should ask for money.
10-point lead. Pettiford stripped away.
What a play by Houck. A fantastic split of two defenders by Tahad Pettiford, but Houck just knocks it away as he's going up for the shot.
And boy, they can taste it now inside the final minute with the ball and a 10-point lead. Richard, good decision. Good cut. Good pass and a lay-in to probably seal it here for the Gators, up by 12.
How skilled are Condon and Houck?
Kelly fouled in the corner on a three-point attempt.
Condon trying to put late pressure on the shot and just got in Kelly's space as he was trying to land. Well, he kicked his leg out. Actually, he didn't. Yeah, that's just a bad call.
But it will be 3 free throws for Miles Kelly.
Well, Condon did everything you're supposed to do. Put pressure on the shot and then went off to the side. That was just a smart play.
And now another monitor review to check the clock.
But give Miles Kelly some credit there. Just kicked his leg out to get that foul, which was not a foul at all. Wow. That's a bad call.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that can be called on the offensive players.
Exactly, and should be.
Yeah. Again, the Florida Gators have never beaten a #1 team on the road in program history. They are 40.9 seconds away. And what a statement win this would be in this league. I mean, Auburn has been incredible all year, even when they haven't had Broom at times, and Florida, without one of its best players in Elijah Martin, on the verge of a huge win.
Now, Kelly, an 87% free throw shooter. That doesn't mean you want to take this last one for granted. But Florida needs to be fully prepared for full court pressure coming right at them. You have to get the ball inbounds cleanly and expect that Auburn is going to slap at it.
Here comes the pressure after Kelly makes all three. Into Clayton in the corner, back to Aberdeen. Ahead to Richard. And this time they will back it out. The clock is their friend. And the seconds are ticking away on the Tigers. Clayton up, no good. Broom the rebound, but only 20 seconds remain. Pettiford needs a three. And the rebound down to Clayton, and the Florida Gators have come into Auburn, have come into the jungle, and they have knocked off the #1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers. What a victory for Todd Golden. The embrace there with Bruce Pearl. What a win for this Florida program.
What a huge win for Florida. And credit goes all around. The Florida bench was outstanding with Elijah Martin out with that hip injury. Walter Clayton Jr. was magnificent in the first half, and the big guys were fantastic on the glass from tap to buzzer.
The Tigers suffered just their second defeat of the year, now 21-2. Florida goes to 20-3 with an incredibly impressive win here at Auburn today, beating the Tigers 90-81. They made 13 threes on the day, but they won this one with toughness as much as they won it with skill.
That's exactly right. This is a tough bunch, the Florida Gators, and they proved it. I think you had mentioned they had not played a ton of ranked teams this year. But to come into the jungle and win decisively, that's a bold statement and a strong statement by this Florida team. They are to be reckoned with. They're a force both in the backcourt and up front.
Jess Sims is with Walter Clayton Jr.
Walter, you've now taken down 2 #1 teams in the same season. What is it about this team, these guys, that make it so special?
Man, honestly, man, it's just a bunch of guys that love each other off the court, man, and I think that shows on the court, you know, how together we play, you know, just communication that go on. So I think it's just showing the love between all of us.
Well, there are no easy matchups here in the SEC. How difficult is it to get a win on the road? And let me tell you, this is your first ever upset against a #1 team in your program's history.
For sure, yeah. Now, it's definitely tough to get a road on the win in SEC in general, especially against a #1 team. You know, Auburn, man, they're a great team. They do a lot of things well. I think we prepared well, and we came out and we executed.
Congratulations.
Yes, man. Appreciate you.
What a game by Mr. Clayton today, and what a win for the Florida Gators, 90-81 over Auburn here at Neville Arena. And you can see the elation, the joy for Todd Golden and the rest of the Gators. No more impressive win maybe by anybody all season long. BYU Cincinnati next. Here's Chucky Kemp.